Hello and welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for fantasy Premier League content for the 2021-22 season. My name is Dan and today we are doing a Game Week 22 100 FPL Experts video. It's been a couple of game weeks since I've done one of these, yeah, hopefully this is going to be really helpful. But basically in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to, what we already have done is asked 100 FPL experts, content creators, super fans, all that kind of stuff, what they are doing this game week, and we're going to try and find out what their transfer moves are, what their captain decisions are, what their chip usage decisions are, to try and work out what the general trends are for those FPL players that really kind of know what they're doing. We're going to try and find some trends and see what's going on. So yeah, if you do enjoy this video, please do leave a like, please do subscribe. I find this video the most helpful video on my channel whenever I make it. I love doing the research. It helps me so much. So hopefully it really helps you guys so much as well. It's particularly in this game week where a lot of people don't really know what they're going to do about game week 22. So on screen, guys, you can see 100 FPL experts that have contributed towards this video, contributed their data and told me what they're doing. Yeah, thank you so much to everyone who does get involved in these videos and helps me out with their data. It is so useful. I am so grateful. I cannot express that enough. A lot of people also said, I just can't help you this week, Dan. I don't know. I don't have a clue what I'm doing. I'm too confused. So yeah, it was quite difficult to find 100 people this week, but we managed it in the end. But yeah, a lot of people don't know what they're doing, and I kind of understand. I kind of feel partially in the same boat. I'm sure a lot of you guys do as well. But yeah, these people you see on the screen right now, we're going to combine their data and we're going to try and find some trends that will hopefully give us some answers of what on earth we should be doing this game week. So, in general, let's have a look at the general information. So, 27% of our managers are making one transfer, 44%, so 44 out of 100, are making two transfers. So, that's the biggest demographic here, making two transfers. 14% are making three transfers. 1% is making four transfers. 5% are not making any transfers. 1% are using the wild card, and 9% are using the free hit. So, what we can see here right now, guys, is maybe slightly less people than we thought are actually kind of using a free hit. We probably expected a few more to use a free hit perhaps, but yeah, maybe free hit is not as popular as a strategy as we may have perhaps thought. Wildcard, very unpopular strategy, but it would seem that if you are playing FPL this week, you're probably going to make a transfer, and not only are you just going to make one transfer, but you're probably going to make multiple transfers. So we are seeing experts, they're throwing caution to the wind, guys. They're going for it. They are saying, let's make some transfers. Let's capitalize on the double game week 22. Let's make a load of transfers. Who cares if we're taking -4s, -8? We're going to make it back. We're going to go aggressive. And that seems to be the prevailing strategy this week. So, yeah, most of our FPL players, particularly those who are not using chips this week, are not just making one transfers, but are making multiple transfers this week. So if you feel like you want to make multiple transfers this week, the experts agree with you. That's what we're probably going to be looking at doing this week. So yeah, really useful to know. But also, because so many people are making transfers, I have so much data of transfers out and transfers in, and good players to sell, good players to bring in. We are going to get to that in a moment. But first of all, let's have a look at the general trends among all FPL managers in the entire world. So I like to do this towards the beginning of the video and just kind of have a look and see what the general trends are among all FPL managers. So not our 100 experts. This is not our 100 experts. This is all FPL managers in the world. The data has been taken from the FPL website, and we'll have a look and see I guess what you would probably call the casual, the less engaged manager. Well, mostly, you know, because they outnumber us nerds, right? But what's the day-to-day FPL manager? Yeah, you know, your friend who plays it, you know, has a look at their team once a week, kind of thing. What are they doing? What are they up to? And you can kind of see what the trends are. Jota, by far the most popular transfer this week, is followed, kind of by Heung-min Son, which is just a crazy one. You guys will know by now that Son is obviously injured. He's going to be injured for a few weeks, but almost 400,000 people have already pulled the trigger too early. They did an early transfer and they brought in Son only to find out that he's injured, and now I've got to transfer him back out again, probably for a -4 or -8, depending on what other plans they had. So yeah, absolutely crazy. I'm sure there's a few of you guys out there watching this video as well who perhaps did make an early transfer. This data really is from people who made a lot of early transfers. You can see a couple other players there: Saka, Bowen, De Bruyne, all the way down to Tierney at the bottom there. So these are the most popular transfers in. But guys, what do you think? What do you think is the correlation between these players that you see on screen right now and our expert? Well, I'll tell you, There is not much correlation this week at all. In fact, this is probably the worst we've ever had it for correlation between the general FPL manager and the expert FPL manager, which is a good thing, which I'll explain in a few minutes. But the only 4 players that were popular among our experts as well, out of the 12 that you see in front of you, the only 4 players were De Bruyne, Ronaldo, Maddison and Kane. These were the only popular players that our experts also fancied, as well as the general FPL manager. All of the rest of them, basically no interest whatsoever. Some of them even sold. I mean, let me show you this, guys. These players you see on screen right now, there was no interest whatsoever. 100 experts, all of them, well, most of them making multiple transfers, and no one was picking these players. That is where we're at. No one is picking these players. So yeah, this I really feel like is a good thing, because we're seeing so much of a difference between the general, the everyday FPL manager and the engaged FPL manager, like yourself, like myself. Us guys who are we're FPL nerds, like, let's be real. What we're seeing is a big difference between engaged managers, their decision making, and the general consensus among all FPL managers. There is a big divergence this week, which is good, because what that means is that we kind of trust that FPL experts, engaged managers, kind of know what they're doing a little bit more, I guess. We kind of trust them a little bit more, right? So if they are not buying any of these players, but all of your mates are buying all of these players, and you can resist buying the general player, and you can instead go for some slightly different players that the experts are kind of hyping up, then that's a huge thing. That's a huge thing, because we expect that the players that the experts are hyping up are going to outscore all of these players you see on screen that the experts have no interest in, but your mates in your mini leagues, your colleagues, if you're in work mini leagues as well, they are going to be picking up the players you see in front of you and ignoring the real gems. So I think it's a really good thing. And yeah, I think right now let's just go through it and see the transfer moves that our experts are making. Who's the most popular transfers in? But first of all, who are the most popular transfers out? So here are the most popular transfer outs. Probably not going to be too surprising to see Son and Salah at the top of the list. Son, absolutely crazy, 65 out of 85, and I'm doing it out of 85 because there was 15 people either not making transfers, using a wild card, or using a free hit, so we can't really count those towards the data. But out of the 85 people who are just making a regular transfer, 65 of them, wow, 65 of them are transferring out Son. So a really obvious player to transfer out. He's going to be out for a few game weeks now. He's not going to be back until at least after the international break. So a long time for him to be out, and we probably want to use that money elsewhere. Similarly with Salah, we know he's going to be out for kind of minimum of 2 game weeks, maximum of 4 game weeks. We want to be thinking about moving out Salah as well, so those are really obvious. But there's maybe some less obvious players there as well that are being sold. Antonio, as we saw, is actually being transferred in by a lot of managers overall, but our 100 experts actually think Antonio is a player to be removing from our team. So after we've watched the West Ham game versus Norwich this evening, which has already been on by the time you watch this video, maybe people have some different opinions on that one. But yeah, as things stand, Antonio being sold. Broja, again, a player who scored literally, literally as I record this video 24 hours ago, Broja scored obviously for Southampton against Brentford in game week 21. So another player being sold, even though they've scored, and that's very much an expert, I think, ideology. I think that's when you kind of know you are getting quite good at FPL, is when you find that you are selling players who have just scored or who have just done well, because you're looking into the future for points rather than looking into the past for points. And that's a real tell. Intuitively you kind of think you're selling a player who's just scored a goal. That sounds stupid, right? But often it's not the case, and obviously, often there's a bigger plan behind it, and we're looking forward, we're looking towards the future. Who's going to get the points next, rather than thinking who got the points last week? That to me is what is part of a real interesting veteran way of thinking, I guess. But yeah, we've got James in there as well. Obviously, James is injured. A couple of other interesting players in there that you guys might have, you might not have as well. But these are all players that you should probably strongly consider selling based on our expert trends. So let's have a look at some transfers in. So we've got a pretty big list of players being transferred in. You might have noticed in the last clip and this clip, I suppose, that I've only included on screen players transferred in by transferred in / out by at least 3 of our experts. So all of those players transferred in or out by just 1 or 2. I'm not counting them towards the data today, just because I want to focus on the trends. I want to focus on patterns, and 3 is a pattern, I suppose. Maybe you would say 2 is a pattern, but for the sake of this video, three transfers is a pattern, right? So yeah, we have got still, even just counting players transferred in by 3 people or more, we are still seeing a lot of players on this list. But the big one is Maddison. James Maddison, this is incredible. Over half of the 100. When we count wildcarders and free hitters, I'm sure they will possibly have Maddison in their teams as well. I mean, when we look at people who perhaps already have Maddison, they obviously can't bring Maddison in. So to see 51 out of 85 bringing in Maddison for this game week, quite incredible. That is quite remarkable. So yeah, I think if anything, that kind of solidifies, guys, that our top transfer target this week is probably going to be Maddison. We already spoke about that in yesterday's video, didn't we? But, this has solidified it. Maddison is the player to bring in for this game week for sure. Surely he is. Surely he is. You got to agree with that, surely. I mean, this is not just a pattern. This is not just a trend. This is so on the nose. This is so, when everyone who knows what they're doing is doing something, you kind of got to question yourself if you're not doing it, right? I think that's kind of what these videos are all about. But there are also some other interesting players in there. A lot of people are bringing in Dennis, for example. They've obviously, Maddison's got a good double game week, but Dennis also has a really nice double game week this week. Fernandes and Ronaldo, people going for those Manchester United options for their double game week. Lucas and Kane. With the absence of Son, we're kind of looking elsewhere. Who can we capitalise on in terms of Spurs in their double game week? They play Leicester and Arsenal, so not such a great double game week for Spurs, but with Kane in particular, we know that Kane really likes those fixtures, so maybe that's going to be a good thing. And then we're kind of seeing some other players. A lot of players with double game weeks, Cucurella, Sanchez, Lamptey, all for Brighton. Brighton defensive players, I suppose you would say. They've all got double game weeks as well, so maybe people trying to capitalise on the double game week for Brighton, going for some of their defensive players. And then we've got a couple of sprinklings of Man City there as well. De Bruyne and Sterling, fairly popular in terms of transfers in as well. They don't have a double game week, but some people still fancy City on a single against Chelsea. It could happen, I suppose. It could happen. We've seen Chelsea's form recently. We know they haven't got Mendy at the moment. Maybe they're going to suffer a little bit, and Man City can run riot. So there's still a lot of people interested in those Man City midfielders as well. But overall, we are mostly looking here. You look at these players. 90% of the transfers, 95% of the transfers done by experts this game week are to bring in double game week players. So that is where our focus should be right now, getting in those double game week players. So yeah, definitely something that I think we should pretty much be focused on, really, just getting double game week players with consideration, I suppose, to a Man City midfielder, if that's something you would like to do. But yeah, there we go. Those are the transfers out. Those are the transfers in. Now let's suggest some transfers for you guys to do at home. And I'm going to suggest individual transfers, but if you want to pair them up, I know, like we said earlier, a lot of people are making multiple transfers. If you want to pair transfers up, you want to do one of this and one of that, and do multiple of them, then I think that makes absolute perfect sense. Particularly if we're shifting money, for example, from Salah and Son in midfield, and we want to move the money, the premium money from midfield to our forwards. You have to kind of make 2 transfers to do that. But yeah, I would say, feel free to pair them up. Don't be afraid to take a -4. That's what it's all about. This double game week. Get excited. So here are my first suggestions, and they all involve selling Son and Salah, because Son and Salah are obviously the 2 most popular transfers out among our excellent FPL managers, right? So yeah, depending if you have one of Son or Salah, or maybe you have both of those players, these are the players you would probably want to be thinking of bringing in as replacements for Son/Salah. Maddison, obviously, by far the most popular one. But we could also look at Fernandes or Lucas. I don't know if I'd go for Lucas unless you've already got Maddison, you've already got Fernandes. Maybe you could then look at Lucas, or maybe if you don't fancy Fernandes, maybe go for a Maddison and a Lucas. I do kind of feel like just because of the trends that we're seeing, Maddison seems like the player to go for. And then after that, maybe that's when we start thinking about Fernandes. And then, you know, a little bit further down the line, if you really want to go for Lucas, then I think that's absolutely fine as well. But Lucas, I don't think would be necessarily a priority. But, you know, there's a lot of people going for Lucas this game week who know what they're doing. So, Ray, you know, if you're also thinking about going for Lucas, it's obviously a fairly good move. But there you go, guys. Those are the kind of midfield options that I think we're kind of looking at getting really for our Son and Salah replacements. Let's have a look at some. Forwards. So in terms of forward transfers, really we're looking at transferring out Antonio or Broja. Like I say, both scored in Game Week 21. So I know it sounds a little bit crazy, but we're talking really about looking forward, looking to the future. Antonio and Broja's fixtures maybe not phenomenal going forward. Antonio's fixtures aren't too bad going forward, to be fair. But if that's the only way of doing, you know, getting in one of these forwards, then that's the only way if you're doing it. Broja, on the other hand, pretty poor fixtures. We know the other strikers at Southampton are back fit and available now as well. So maybe Broja is not going to get quite as much game time as we would perhaps hope. So Broja, I can definitely fully back. I completely understand why people want to sell him despite him scoring. Antonio, similar thing. If he's your only way, the only way of you getting in one of these forwards, then I can understand why you would want to do it. And the big three really are Ronaldo, Kane, and Dennis. So Ronaldo and Kane, these are the kind of players you want to be bringing in if you want to shift your money from your midfield to your forwards. You're selling Son, you're selling Salah. You find yourself with loads of money in the bank, but you want to reinvest it straight away for the double game week. Ronaldo and Kane, those are the players you want to go for. Probably Ronaldo was slightly more popular, so I put Ronaldo high on the list there. But Dennis was actually the most popular forward to bring in of all players. Among our 100, Dennis was the most popular forward to bring in. So, you know, if you want to go for Antonio or Broja, you're not so interested in, you know, reinvesting your money, or, you know, or maybe you don't need a Ronaldo, you don't need a Kane, you want to captain someone else, you want to captain Maddison, you want to captain Fernandes or someone like that, and you find that actually, do I really want to bring in Ronaldo? Do I really want to bring in Kane? Even if I do, am I going to captain them? You know, maybe you can go for Dennis as an alternative there as well. And those are the suggested transfers that I suggest that you guys make based on what I have found out today. There we go, guys. But we've got one more section, and this is super interesting because for the first time, we are not just going to be talking about Salah. We're going to do the captains. We're going to do the captains bit, and we actually have interesting data for the captain section of the video rather than it just being Salah, 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 Salah. Who do you think is going to be first? Who do you guys think is going to be the #1 captain choice among our 100 experts? I was a little bit surprised, I guess, by the data. Let me just show you it. Let's just show you. So we have actually Cristiano Ronaldo leading the way with a massive 40%. And I know I say massive, it's nothing close to what we usually see from Salah, you know, who is usually at like sort of 85, 90% in these videos, isn't he? We usually see Salah storming it. But, you know, it's still, you know, clearly here by this data, the Ronaldo versus Aston Villa and Brentford is the best captain option for Game Week 22. He's the best option. According to our 100 experts, there is a significant correlation of people thinking that Ronaldo is the best captain. So, yeah, really significant one there. And, you know, I actually thought it would be a lot closer. I thought, you know, we would see kind of a little bit of, we see Ronaldo and Kane kind of at the top there, kind of fighting it out a little bit, maybe both of them around 25%. But no, Ronaldo storming it. You know, so if you had any doubts about either who you wanted to bring in or who you want to captain this week, Ronaldo is a very good suggestion of a player that you can bring in and captain, to be fair. So particularly if you already have Ronaldo, you've got a captain there ready-made for you. So you're going to be really happy about that. But we've got Dennis actually beating Kane, which is kind of interesting. Dennis with the phenomenal fixtures, Newcastle and Burnley. Watford, we know, have the best fixtures of any double game week player in Game Week 22, right? So yeah, really good fixtures for Dennis there. But then we also got Kane down there, King. You know, King is an alternative to Dennis, I suppose. Some people are Team Grass, some people are Team Excel. Depending on which team you're on, maybe that defines who you choose out of Dennis and King. But yeah, both options for captains there. Maddison and Fernandes also featuring. So actually, quite after Ronaldo, is quite a tightly contested array of different players that you can go for your captain. And guys, some of you might have noticed, there's always a few of you in the comments, you might have noticed that these numbers do not add up to 100. You're absolutely right, because there was quite a lot of people going for differentials, and it was kind of only one person going for each of these players, so I didn't really feel like including them in the main list because, you know, they're not a trend. One person deciding to captain one differential does not make a trend, right? And that's what this video is all about. But yeah, just for the sake of fun, some of the differential captains that people are potentially going for this week as well are players like Trent, who doesn't even have a double game week. Bowen doesn't have a double game week. Tillemans, kind of interesting. Greenwood, De Bruyne, Jota, and De Gea, interestingly as well. So yeah, a few different differential captains that I kind of saw as well. That's what you kind of want to do. But you know, in a game week like this is probably one of the better game weeks to go for a differential, to be fair, because we have got a bit more of a spread. You know, going for a differential is not going to punish you as much as it is on a game week when 90% of people are going for Salah as captain, right? So yeah, that's basically it, guys. That's the captains. Hopefully you found this really useful. I found this fascinating, this one. Yeah, I'm sure a few of you guys did too. So yeah, do let me know what you think. Are you surprised by anything you saw today? Are you excited by anything you've seen today? Has this helped you make your decisions? I'd be super interested to know. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. If you did enjoy, please do leave a like. Massively helps. You guys will know that these videos do take a little while to make, particularly collecting a lot of information and trying to formulate it in a way that is useful to you guys. So likes on the video, massively appreciated. And of course, if you love this kind of stuff and you haven't done already, please do consider subscribing. That would be absolutely wicked. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. We're going to do our team selection video tomorrow. I'm going to reveal my new rank, which I hope is going to be pretty good. Yeah, you're going to have to wait for tomorrow for that one. But yeah, aside from that, guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you later, mates. Bye-bye.